Okay, class, today we are going to start composing our songs for our 12 bar blues songs. So go to soundtrap.com and log in with Google. And once you get logged in, just click on Enter Studio. And that should start a new project for you. So new project, music, and let's go ahead and name it. You could name it blues song or 12 bar blues, or if you wrote something in your lyrics and you want that to be your title to relate to that, that's fine too. You can always change the name later, so don't worry too much about it. Now I'm going to go to add new track, and for now we could pick any track that's gonna, any instrument that's like piano, guitar, bass. Bass might be a good one to start with because today we're going to do the root chord. So let's hear what this bass sounds like. That is not a bass, that is a rock guitar. So I'm gonna go to bass. I'm gonna try maybe a jazzy bass. So to play these in, each note is going to get one measure. So the easiest way to do that will be to switch to the piano roll. That's right here. And I'm going to scroll down just a little bit and get to this C1. And we're going to make our song in the key of C. That'll make it really easy because you won't have to use, on the chords at least, you won't have to use the black keys. It'll all be on the white keys. When we get to the scale, there'll be a couple black keys. All right, so now to make our, to put in, we're going to put in each, on this grid here, every 4 slots is, every 4 columns is one measure. And you can see on the ruler up top, those are our measure numbers. So we're going to be making 12 measures for the 12 bar blues, and each measure gets a note. It'll be a whole note for now. So if I click there, it made a little quarter note. I'm going to make that one measure long. So now it's a whole note. All right. And if you remember from the video the other day, we had 4 of these C's. Now when I clicked this one, it remembered that I did a whole note, so it gave me another whole note. So hopefully yours does that too, and it remembers that first note you put in as a whole note, and then it'll keep doing whole notes. So I got 4 C's. And then measure 5, we're going to switch to F. F is right up here. So let's put in 2 F's. And then we're going to go back to C. So to find where your F is and where your G is that we're going to put in the middle, if you look at the piano on the side here, here's C, D, E, F. So that's where I put my F, okay? And then the next one is G, F, G, right? So the next white one is going to be G. These lines that are gray, those would be the flats and sharps that we're not worrying about right now. So C, D, E, F, G. So here's our G. We're going to do G, F, and then 2 more C's. C, C. And then to check our work, there are 12 measures, and this last C is the 12th measure. And so we go C, 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 F, F, C, C, G, F, C, C. Let's hear what it sounds like. That's what it should sound like. A couple things to check for as you do this, where people might make mistakes. One is just putting these notes in the wrong places and not making sure that they're on C and F and G. Another one is not getting the beginning of each note lined up with the beginning of the measure. The easiest way to do that is to click in the box that for the first note of the measure. So if I click in this box right here and just click there, it should give me a G, and it should give me across that whole measure there. The only problem I might have is if this magnet button up here gets unclicked, then if I click in the middle of the measure, it won't line it up with the beginning of the measure. See how it's not lined up with the beginning of the measure? It will put it wherever you click. So I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that, and I'm going to click the magnet back on. Now if I click there, even though I clicked in the middle of the note, it started it at the beginning of the measure instead of in the middle of that note. So watch out for that. Make sure that magnet icon up there is purple. If it's not purple, then your notes will be in weird places. Oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to show you. If we exit out from this instrument, here's our 12 bars, right? And I want to make sure it's actually 12 bars long, so I'm going to get rid of this little end here. Okay, oops. Now that 12 bars is going to be a loop, so I'm going to click on the loop icon up here in the corner, and now what I can do is I can keep that bass line going through my song. It can repeat over and over again. So this is something we'll be doing with it later. So for now, you can try that out and see. And if you did it right, and if this is exactly 12 measures long, it should end right at the beginning of measure 13. And then if you loop it, it should start a new loop at 13. And that one should end at the end of measure 24, because 12 times 2 is 24. And then your third loop would start at measure 25 and end at the beginning of measure 37, or the end of measure 36, because 12 times 3 is 36. So if you have any other questions about how to do this first step here of our song, send me an email and ask me, and I'll try to help you out and give you some clarification. And then next week we will start with adding other instruments and filling out the whole chords, because right now we just have the root note of each chord. We're going to add another instrument next week and fill out the rest of the chord. You guys have a great weekend.